I get attacked by the left, the Democrats, Biden, Harris, the media, Trump. So I must be somebody that they consider to be a threat, because if not, you would kind of just ignore and go on. We're showing up to people's communities, and you got to earn this nomination.
That's Florida Governor Ron DeSantis with our own Kelly Meyer as he heads to the Iowa State Fair. As we told you earlier, polling shows he's got a lot of work to do in the Hawkeye State. DeSantis senior advisor Ryan Tyson with us now. Ryan, just for the edification for the viewers, I know you know this. A little bit of polling. April, Trump 41. August, Trump 43. DeSantis, April 26. August 17. And this is Iowa-centric polling. Let's look forward, not back. If in 6 months or less, after the Iowa caucuses, you and I are talking and Ron DeSantis has won Iowa, it will be because of what?
Well, that's a great question. Good to be here with you today. I think the reason would be is that the governor put the time in. He got around the entire state. He went to 99 counties. He shook the hands of the caucus goers that will be heading in on caucus night to brave the weather, to brave the temperatures, to sit inside of those gymnasiums, those libraries, those churches, to sit through 2.5 hours of speeches and to caucus for him. So I think that would be the reason why. I think voters are starting to get to know him out there. They knew, generically speaking, who he was when this campaign started. But now they're starting to get to know what he's really about and what makes him tick.
All right. So the argument there is good advertising helps a good product. Good advertising hurts a bad product. But over the past few months, voters have gotten a chance to know him in Iowa. He's been in Iowa. He's done events in Iowa. We've covered him there. We've been on the trail with him. You guys have been up with ads. The Super PAC has been up with ads, and his poll numbers have gone down. How does more exposure help?
Well, put in context exactly what's happening with those poll numbers. Right now, what you're seeing happening in Iowa, and it's been happening all over the entire summer for that matter, and it'll probably continue being this way up until the first debate and after the first debate, is voters are actually starting to take a step back. You're starting to see the commitment, the hard commitment to any and all candidates, including the former president, go down as the field has grown so big. And finally, you're seeing these voters step back, realize that, wait a minute, there's a lot of people here and they want to take their job seriously. I think if you're going to be in Iowa this weekend, you've been there before. Any of us that have actually politicked in Iowa before, you realize that the caucus goers take their job very, very seriously. And with so many people in the race, I think that's what you're seeing happening. I will tell you the data points that I've been measuring in my own data. And by the way, it's validated in some of these national surveys that have come out in Iowa. So these national public polls that are looking at Iowa, it's actually the former president that's seen his leading indicators deteriorate over the course of the summer. His generic reelect is coming down month over month. You're seeing his intensity of his ballot support come down month over month. And perhaps most importantly, you're seeing the number of people who say that they're only considering the former president continues to go down, while the number of people who are saying that they will not consider the former president continues to go up. That's what I've seen trending over the course of the summer.
All right, fair enough. And we'll see. You make a great point. These are leading indicators. Whether or not that turns into people who are persuadable and then go around and test the field. Big part of that is going to be the debate coming up in less than 2 weeks, the first Republican debate. Is it better for Governor DeSantis if Donald Trump shows up or not?
You know, I don't really look at it as whether or not it's for him if he's there or if he's not. The way that I look at the debate, it's an opportunity for the governor to show his street cred as being the only consistent and proven leader on that stage. So we're welcoming the opportunity. There's going to be 15, 20 million people that are going to be tuning in, watching that debate. And this is an opportunity for him, regardless of who all ends up signing the various pledges and the commitments that they're supposed to do. Right. It's a time for him to showcase what he is about.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.